Everybody loves the American campfire. Don't you hear it calling your name? Everybody loves the American campfire.
All right, welcome back to Ted Nugent's Spirit Campfire. Every campfire should be highly spirited with family and friends and people that pursue and live and demand and fight for truth, logic, and common sense. You see these guitar fingers? These are the 10 digits of doom. You know why? You know why my guitar playing is sexier than anybody else's? It might be the lifetime of gut piles. It might be the lifetime of planting tens of thousands of trees. How many trees have you planted? When you take a deep breath and there's any hint of quality air, soil, and water, thank me. Thank hunters and fishermen and trappers. In fact, I'm going to promote right now some mad scientists that are out there creating the most wonderful, healthy, nutritional, supplemental feed. Every spring and summer, I go out with whitetail products gone wild. They don't even pay me. I just love this stuff. I find a place in the woods, I take a rake and I rake. By the way, raking in the woods, that's a lot of exercise. So then I plant this stuff and it grows and it has this emerald glow in the middle of the forest, and the deer and the woodchucks and the turkey and the doves and the remnant pheasant and quail, they love this stuff. Whitetailproductsgonewild.com, whitetailproductsgonewild.com. There's only two columns, the asset column and the liability column. I am so lucky to have such wonderful blood brothers and friends and spirit associates like Richard P. Smith that's rock solid in the asset column, not just of the American dream of God, family, and country, but in the asset column of conservation, resource stewardship, being a positive impact on the quality of life beyond the pavement, which determines the quality of life on the pavement. Richard P. Smith, have you ever been introduced like that before?
Never. First time.
Well, Richard, you know how much I love you because you stand up and fight. Plus, you live this life. And I was in Lansing yesterday, literally raising hell. And the reason that Michigan went from the #1 hunting state in the nation to the laughing stock of the nation is because we, the people, especially the hunting families, the conservationists, we failed to raise adequate hell. As a lifetime conservationist and a trained wildlife professional, how am I doing?
You're doing great. I saw some of your presentation. You gave him hell.
Well, bottom line is, Richard, you know, we don't have the convenience of opinions on how to manage wildlife. We have established a wildlife management policy and model based on, and again, I'm going to repeat the obvious, because I don't think anybody at the DNR or the Natural Resource Commission in any state really focus and demand management based on population dynamics, and we know what those are, whether it's quail or moose. We know what the population dynamics are. It's not a mystery. We don't have to study it. Isle Royale. We know that habitat carrying capacity per species, we know what that is. We know what the habitat needs to be to optimize balance. We know what the winter severity index is in the upper region. We know what predation is. We know what highway fatalities are. We know what the annual harvest, so we can sell maximum licenses for doves or deer and optimize the family days of recreation, revenues generated to keep the wild in the asset column. Why hasn't that been said in any school in America?
Good question.
I mean, you write about, and congratulations for the Outdoor Writers Hall of Fame, but if you had a wish list, what are the top 5 things you would change in Michigan regarding wildlife management, deer management, wolf management, predator? What would be the 5 things? As I respect your conclusion based on your life with the animals. That's where you get good information for people who live with the animals, not people who went to college in the hash bash, not people who get their wildlife information from a computer screen in an office. I like to get mine from Richard P. Smith. What are the top 5 mistakes going on in Michigan that could be rectified and remedied right away?
Eliminate the ban on baiting in the Lower Peninsula for deer hunting. That was a major mistake. Currently, In the CWD management zones in Michigan, there is one restricted tag on combination deer licenses where bucks have to have at least 4 points on one side to be legal. All antler point restrictions should be eliminated from chronic wasting disease management units because older bucks spread the disease, and even yearling bucks are known to have the disease and spread it. In the Upper Peninsula, we need one unrestricted tag on our combination deer licenses. Currently, both buck tags are restricted antler-wise at UP. It hasn't worked in producing more older age bucks. In fact, when spikes or forks were legal to all hunters, we had more older bucks than we do now. Both buck tags have been restricted in the UP since 2008. Many of those bucks that hunters have been forced to pass up have died during the following winter. That's terrible management. Crossbows are legal in the Lower Peninsula during the late archery season. They should also be legal during the late archery season in the UP. They currently are not. I don't know if that's 4 or 5, but those are important changes that should be made. The ban on baiting totally ignores the social contact that whitetails constantly have, whether or not baiting is legal. I've been walking with whitetails of both sexes in many age classes for over 30 years. Even without baiting, deer have more close social contact away from any bait, period.
You know, Richard, as you state those obvious concerns, I laugh, but I'm inspired to get angrier and angrier. How could a man claim that baiting causes disease, but we're going to allow it here, but not there? That is so dishonest, so hypocritical. How can a man think that he has decision-making over what represents a trophy for another man? How could he? It is of no concern to those of us where it is no concern. We want to balance the herd by killing the deer that the science has identified as the proper harvest rate. Leave us the hell alone. And that somebody would say, well, crossbows, it shoots an arrow. There's no gunpowder. We're going to legalize crossbows down here, but not up here. Are you kidding me? How a man can let those words and demands come out of their mouth and not just piss himself with guilt as he's dictating? Here's one for you, Richard. I'd like your take on this. Okay, I'm a farmer. I got a tractor and I'm harvesting my corn. The deer have eaten 40% of it. And I know that's true in some instances. And I'm not looking for sport. When I think of sport, I play golf. But I need to kill deer. I can get permits to kill deer. But I can't kill them from the combine. Well, that's not sporting. He's not looking for sport. How, when you need to harvest X, some man can't get, well, you can only harvest X if there's sport involved. What is your feeling? I mean, obviously you can get crop damage permits, but you can't shoot them from the combine or from your truck or on your own property from a vehicle or with certain ballistics that are less effective than the 350 Legend. I mean, everything is just bizarre. Am I right? We need to harvest X. Does it really matter if the guy gets it from the combine and donates the meat or keeps the back straps? You see what I'm saying? The powers that be think they can dictate everything. You have to have so much sport. You have to have this piece of paper to shoot a sandhill crane, but you're not allowed to eat the ribeye in the sky. It is like Planet of the Cuckoo's Nest out there. I am so angry, and that's what they heard from me yesterday.
Right. And there's proof that a ban on baiting does not reduce the spread of disease. Tuberculosis is a prime example. They put a ban on baiting in Deer Management Unit 452 in the northeastern Lower Peninsula in 2002. The prevalence rate of TB in that area at that time was 1.7%. In 2023 and 2024, the prevalence rate of TB in that same unit, 1.7%. The ban on baiting has had no impact on reducing the spread of tuberculosis in the Northeast Lower Peninsula. In fact, between those years, the prevalence of TB has been even higher, as high as 2.7%. The ban on baiting, there's proof. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. They're lying. I know they know that. They're lying. The real dedicated sporting conservation families in Michigan absolutely have lost trust or respect from the DNR. Now, I know there's some good guys and some good game wardens, but like I told my FBI friends, you're not a real FBI agent unless you blow the whistle on those that ask you to violate your constitutional oath. Well, I'll lose my pension. Well, you pussy. So your pension is more important than morality. So, Richard, once again, I know this was a short segment, but you put the icing on the cake of the truth, logic, and common sense that I've always been raising hell about. And I'd like to have you back on because you really have given me some guiding light on how to pursue these details and then convey them to the bureaucrats and demand honest, science-based wildlife policy. So thank you, Richard P. Smith. This guy is in the Michigan Outdoor Writers Hall of Fame, and I'm in the Michigan United States of America, Planet Earth Middle Finger Hall of Fame. Remember, if you're not raising hell, you're a failed American. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you at tednugent.com, and I love you people. Armslist.com. Go to armslist.com, because what's more important than arms? Pretend you're an A-10 warthog. Armslist.com. Do it. I'll see you. I love you.